Good morning. Welcome to the forecast discussion for October 24th, 2012. It is currently 9:05 a.m. and we have a lot to talk about today, so let's get to it. Temperatures this morning range from the lower to mid 50s over the northern interior. Our cold spot, of course, Messina in the upper 40s. Mid to upper 50s along the coast. Cloud cover continues to linger over the northern mid-Atlantic with a little bit more of a break around the Philadelphia metropolitan area and southern New Jersey. Winds are from the east and northeast around 5 miles per hour, not terribly strong, but clearly we have a boundary setting up over the northern mid-Atlantic. Here we have our radar. You can see that the showers are relatively weak. Most of them are not reaching the ground. The focus right now is over northeastern Pennsylvania, northern New Jersey, and the New York City metro. But again, most of these showers are not reaching the ground. They are relatively light, and for the most part will be more of a nuisance than anything else through today into tomorrow. So why is this front hanging around? Interesting question, right? Here we have our stationary front right here. Okay, now the question is, why did this become stationary? Well, the reason why is because we have high pressure ridging into New England. And the reason why that high pressure is ridging is because we have a strengthening negative NAO pattern. This was not supposed to happen. This front was supposed to rocket into New England, and the Philadelphia and New York City metropolitan area, if you remember a few days ago, was supposed to have scattered cloud cover and temperatures generally in the 70s. In fact, in reality, it's not going to be as pretty. We are going to have basically variable cloud cover throughout the entire New York City and Philadelphia metropolitan area. Today on through tomorrow, a few isolated to widely scattered showers will linger over the region through the day into tomorrow because of this stationary front. To the north of the stationary front, temperatures will range from the lower to mid 60s to the south, upper 60s to mid 70s because this air mass is far more tropical. Now by Friday and Saturday, this high pressure system will be in full control and lift northward and basically produce very comfortable weather conditions for Friday and Saturday as this front starts to dissipate and break apart. So that's the good news. At least the end of the week into the first part of the weekend will be very comfortable. Unfortunately, it looks like the rest of this upcoming weekend and the start of next week will be anything but. Let's take a look at the water vapor satellite picture because this really sets everything on the stage. Now remember what I said about this stationary front and that it was supposed to be lifting further north, but it didn't. Why? Well, you see this upper level low here? You see this sinking air here? This sinking air in the upper levels, well, that enhances this high pressure system. The enhancement of this high pressure system stopped this warm front from lifting north. This is stronger than what was forecasted a few days ago. And that is important because what we have here is a strengthening negative NAO pattern. That negative NAO pattern is going to become even further enhanced because of this. This right here is Tropical Storm Tony. Tropical Storm Tony is already starting to feel the influence of this trough here and will become entrained in the 500 millibar pattern. Why is that important? Because Tropical Storm Tony will add a lot of latent heat energy and moisture into this upper level low, creating a significant block over the northern Atlantic. And that is going to influence the pattern of what should be very soon Hurricane Sandy. When Hurricane Sandy lifts north through Jamaica, through Cuba, and into the Bahamas, it's not going to have anywhere else to go but north because it can't go northeast into a high latitude block. So you see everything's starting to set up physically, not with the models, not with model trends or any of that nonsense, but with physics, with the pattern itself, suggesting high latitude blocking, a powerful negative NAO pattern in place that forces Sandy to move due north poleward. Meanwhile, we have a trough that we are just starting to see entering into the west coast, starting to move towards the Ohio River Valley. That's going to slow everything down over North America. And that leads to an increased potential for that trough that will develop around here and this hurricane that will be around here by Friday morning to interact and, yes, potentially phase into one storm by Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So let's take a look at the model guidance because now we got the physical ideas here. Now this is not about models, this is about physics and what's happening right in front of us right now. And here we have the European mild guidance. Now I'm using the European mild guidance for three reasons. One, it's been the most consistent. Two, it makes the most physical sense. And three, if you're a type of person that really likes models and follows models religiously, well then you'll be happy to know that the ensemble mild guidance from the GFS, the Canadian mild guidance, even the UK Met are all starting to trend. Even the Brazilian mild guidance are all starting to trend towards the European mild guidance. So those are three reasons. The most important reason is that it makes the most physical sense using meteorological law. That's the most important reason of them all. So here we are as of yesterday evening. You can see our powerful trough setting up over the Canadian Maritimes. Here's our ridging over portions of Greenland. As a result, here we have convergence and confluence aloft, which enhances our high pressure system, which causes our stationary front to stall out and for the northern mid-Atlantic to have rather gloomy weather conditions today. Here we are by this evening. That upper level trough starts to strengthen. Now, I don't buy these three upper level lows. I think it's going to be one upper level low right around here. Just physically, it doesn't jive very well. So I think we're going to see one upper level low develop here. And that's going to lead to an enhancement of our ridge, which is going to keep our stationary front in place for this evening. Meanwhile, here's Sandy lifting due north, because it's the only place it can really go is due north. And here's our disturbance entering the west coast that will eventually bring us a lot of trouble by this weekend. By the time we move into Thursday evening, here's our upper level disturbance. Now, by this point, we're going to get a lot of great data on exactly just how strong this disturbance is. So that's why there's still a little bit of volatility in this forecast. Well, there's actually a lot of volatility still in this forecast. But we can knock down one potential thought, is that this hurricane or tropical storm at this point will not be able to just exit out into the Atlantic without some sort of interaction with this disturbance, because of all the high latitude blocking going on in the northern Atlantic. This is where it's very important. At Friday evening, okay, this trough and this tropical storm or Hurricane Sandy potentially, have to be just in the right position, okay, to interact with each other. By the time we get into Saturday evening, we start to see that trough become fully starting to interact with each other, okay? Notice the increase in heights here. That's important because that slows everything down. Why is this developed? Well, because we have a strong upper level low over the Canadian Maritimes. You see, everything's interacted. Everything's working together here. So what we end up having is that this tropical system and this trough start to interact. And notice the thermal gradient between the two. Very tropical air here. Very cold air over the northern plains and into the Great Lakes. Very dynamic differences in the air masses interacting here. By the time we get into Sunday, here we have a full phase starting to develop. This trough captures what's left of Sandy. Now, Sandy's going to transition into what's called a subtropical storm, and eventually an extratropical storm. We know that because of the interaction in the air masses. So we're not really dealing with a true tropical system here. That doesn't matter, though, because we're talking about heavy rain from Sunday afternoon all the way on through Tuesday as this storm interacts. Again, this isn't hype or something. Oh, I'm just going with this model. This is the solution that makes the most physical sense, unfortunately, because of all the high latitude blocking that we know is developing right now at this moment. So here we have our storm for, again, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday lingering over the northern mid-Atlantic and basically producing very heavy rainfall and very strong winds, coastal flooding, a very nasty situation, that is for sure. Going on from Sunday all the way on through Monday, on through Tuesday. And notice the cold air starting to wrap in here. This is how we know it's transitioned to an extratropical storm. So there's still a lot to work out here with this storm, a lot of details to work out here. One thing that could cause this to be a miss, which I doubt, is that perhaps the trough isn't as strong. Perhaps it could be a little bit faster. The point here is that right now, from what it looks like right now, this is going to be a dangerous situation and one we're going to have to keep an eye on. That is the forecast discussion for today. I'll have more thoughts on this potential storm later on this evening for premium members with the storm coverage. Of course, I'm your meteorologist, Stephen DiMartino. You can follow the latest weather information at nynjpaweather.com and nynjpaweather on Twitter and Facebook. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe out there.